There in YouTube land. It's me, Brendan again. Um, Back again with the How It Could Have Been Better series. This time, it's Star Wars Episode 2. Um, this one, believe it or not, has actually aged worse than Star Wars Episode 1. Oh my goodness. I think they might have used. In fact, I know they used a lot more CGI in this, and it shows. That's one of the main things that I would change, actually. Like, they used a lot of CGI unnecessarily. Like, for example, with the clone troopers. Um, every single clone trooper, as far as I know, and as far as they looked, was CGI. Every one of them. And they looked it. I mean, it was bad. So I'm trying to get a good angle here. There we go. I mean, I understand when you have several hundred people in one shot. Yeah, okay, use some CGI there. But there were several shots where it was just a couple of clone troopers, and they were still CGI, or they were interacting with one of the Jedi's, Jedi. I don't know what the plural for Jedi would be. I think it's just Jedi. Anyway, they're interacting with them, and it's like, seriously, when you're interacting with one of the characters that is not CGI, like Obi-Wan or Anakin or or Padme or something, don't use CGI. I mean, okay, I get it. There's one main guy who played Jango Fett. Guess what? The clone troopers never take their helmets off. You don't have to use the same guy. You can use just a random actor or extra or something, have him put the costume on, and put the guy's voice, the Jango Fett actor's voice, over top that. That's what I would have done. That's definitely what I would have done. So yeah, that's the first thing. I hate the CGI Yoda. Absolutely hate it. Would have highly preferred the puppet Yoda. He just looks better because he looks like he's actually there. That's the problem with this CGI. None of it looks like it's actually there, and they used way too much of it. Like, for example, all of the backdrops. Like, there was not a single, to my knowledge, there was not a single actual set piece in any of the prequel movies. They didn't build any sets. It's all CGI, and it really shows. It doesn't look like they're actually there in that place. I think the couple shots, like when Anakin, like nature shots, like when Anakin and Padme are in the field. I remember hearing that they were actually in that field, and actually kudos to the Photoshop people that were working on this, because they had to actually go through. There's a bunch of bugs buzzing around. They had to go through manually and delete the bug, like get rid of the bugs that were flying around on camera. Kudos to them. That's pretty awesome, because there were hundreds from what I heard. But other than that, like Tatooine, all CGI. Coruscant, all CGI. Geonosis, all CGI. I mean, there might have been a few things here and there that weren't, but way too much CGI, and I would have definitely done away with that. Would have definitely gotten rid of that and basically use a lot more practical effects. It's just, it's not as bad now as it was then, because it's like, oh, we have this new thing, let's use it in everything and for everything, and yeah, they did, and it looks awful. A lot of movies back then suffer from this. The first movie wasn't quite so bad. The first movie, for some reason, the green screen in the first movie was not as obvious as it is in the episode 2. For example, when Obi-Wan is falling from the speeder, the car, when they're chasing the assassin, it's obvious green screen. Or when he's dangling from the building over the ocean on Camino. That is one of the worst green screen effects I've ever seen. It is atrocious, especially for a film with this much budget. It was just so overused in this. And in episode 1, there were a lot of scenes that looked fake, but not as fake as in episode 2. Episode 2 was especially bad. So yeah, that's the first thing I would most definitely change. The CGI and the green screen, it was bad. The next thing I would change, honestly, I would change up the plot quite a bit. Like, when Obi-Wan is first looking for the Camino system in the archives, and he asks Yoda, and Yoda says only a Jedi could have deleted Camino from the archives. The Jedi had to dumb the Jedi down so bad, because I knew. They'd mentioned earlier that Count Dooku had defected. He's no longer a Jedi, and only a Jedi could have erased it from the archives. Gee, who's the only person who would have had access and motivation to erase that, to delete that? There's only been one Jedi that's defected in the last however many years. Oh, Count Dooku. Come on. Jedi are not that stupid. They would have figured that out. So, yeah. That was one major thing. Another major thing is just the general... It just seems like a lot of the relationships are like between Anakin and Senator Palpatine or Darth Sidious. It's just, oh yeah, we have this awesome mentor-student relationship now, just out of nowhere, like no explanation, nothing. It's just there. What? We didn't see them develop any sort of relationship. Like, at least have maybe a flashback or something to give us context, not just all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're buddy buddy now. We're really close now. Okay. And then the relationship between Padme and Anakin, not only do they have zero chemistry, like, they do not play off each other well. Anakin and Obi-Wan play off each other really well. They do. Their banter and stuff is actually pretty good. Got a couple chuckles out of me. But the stories they're telling sound like they would have been more interesting than the story we're getting. But anyway, off topic. The thing between Padme and Anakin, though, they have no chemistry for one, and for two, Anakin just comes off as creepy for most of the movie, and it's just like he's coming on to Padme, who, by the way, is at least 10 years older than him. I mean, whatever. Not that big of a deal, but still, it's kind of like, what? And then he comes off as really creepy, and it's like, why on earth is this woman falling for this guy? And it seems like out of nowhere, she's just suddenly like, oh yeah, I like him, and they kiss. It's just out of nowhere, like no indication prior to that she had anything for him. My wife just got home and the cats are going a little crazy. Hey, honey. Yeah. That's my wife. Anyway, so yeah, it's just like they didn't develop that relationship well. They didn't develop any of the relationships well in this, except Anakin and Obi-Wan. They showed relationship development there. And that was just really frustrating to watch, because it's like they didn't... There's no character development. And there's no chemistry. But again, with the exception of Obi-Wan and Anakin. So that's another thing I would change the plot to show that a bit more. I mean, there's less fluff in this movie in episode 2 than there was in episode 1. But it somehow actually felt more rushed. Like, the first movie felt the pacing was off. This one felt like the pacing was off even more. And that was something that was really distracting. So yeah, I would definitely fix that. The pacing need to be fixed. And that would definitely have to do with the writer and the director. Basically, a better director wouldn't be needed. I've seen Hayden Christensen and other things. I know he's good at acting. He's a good actor. When he's directed well, I think that Hayden Christensen's issue is when he's not directed well, he doesn't know what to do with himself. So he comes off as wooden and doesn't emote well, and when he does emote, he's overreacting or not being subtle at all. Like, basically in this entire movie, Anakin had 2 modes: deadpan and over the top. He didn't have any subtle emotions. He didn't have anything in the middle. And so, yeah, the director definitely need to be better. I mean, George Lucas is not the best director. I said this in the last one of these. So, better director, or maybe directing lessons for George. Love you, George. You gave us Star Wars, but your directing needs work. I don't know, that plot wise, it's just. One thing I did appreciate, I will say this too, one thing I did appreciate is the lower amount of cuts. Like in the first movie, it seemed like they were cutting every 5 minutes, if even that. Like maximum 5 minutes per scene. Yep. And then there would be a transition, and they'd be somewhere else. And this one, you got a little breathing room. There weren't as many cuts, and there weren't as many transitions, and that was good. They focused more, and I did appreciate that. But plot wise, again, character motivation, not really there. More there than in the first movie. Like, this one made more sense why the characters were doing what they were doing. But some of the characters had to act so stupid that it just threw everything off, and it was frustrating to watch. Oh, hi out there, whoever that is watching. This is going to be on my YouTube channel, saved, so you can watch the whole thing. I've actually been streaming for about 17 minutes now. 17, 15. So, you're a little late, but I'm still talking about this because, yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this movie. There's a lot that could have been done better. But yeah, the character motivations, people, a lot of the characters were just acting very out of character and just kind of not intelligent. And it was kind of jarring. So you gotta give the characters good motivations, and that requires a better plot than what episode 2 had. The main plot was decent. It was actually pretty good. It just needed some refining. So, trying to think if there's anything else that I could talk about this. I've covered the main stuff that I would change. The CGI is a big one. The acting and directing is another big one. Natalie Portman did a better job in this one than the first one. I don't know if they paid her more so she was more motivated, or if she was just more experienced. Not sure, because there was 3 years between these, and she did a couple movies in that time besides Star Wars. So got a little more experience, got a little better. Yeah. So those are the ways I feel like episode 2 could have been a lot better. Stay tuned for next time. I'll probably do that Sunday or Monday. Not sure. These are actually pretty easy. They go up rather quickly onto my channel, so you can watch them if you missed this. But yeah, guys, that's how Star Wars Episode 2 could have been better. Episode 3 coming up next, and after that, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll see all you guys soon. Bye.